So it is stipulated. One house to the launch. So that's the second of but something will be sent out.
So we realise
Yeah, just moving around. Yeah, sit there. But we haven't told us that before.
because the Jubilee Centre plan,
I would doubt it. It's all the six.
was not just
No, I would take that. It's sick. So, while we started the castle for the installation, and he just went, oh, I could. I don't think I'll see him until next summer.
it's a bit creative.
Oh, does he?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Well, he was first rule for the Admiralty. He was chief of defence, so possibly. I don't know what's the great background very much.
Well, his father was an admiral.
He probably does. Quite possibly does. Because the Navy is very close. It's a very similar to as opposed to the Army. Yes. Use that. That helps at all.
Okay. Start. Good evening. Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Finance Committee. If we could first of all take any apologies for absences received.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, so Councillor Black due to an illness and Councillor Breen due to a travel commitment.
Thank you. Any declarations of interest in this meeting from anybody? No? First main agenda item is the minutes of the previous meeting. Has anybody got any comments on those minutes? Would anybody like to propose the minutes?
Happy to. I'll have a second.
Okay, and happy to approve. Everybody?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, public participation. There isn't anybody in the room, I believe, wanting to speak. So if we could move on past that. So the first main agenda item for tonight is the payment schedules. There are three sections to this. There is a review of the payment schedules themselves. There's a review of the cash book and bank reconciliations. And there is to receive the quarter GDF report for July and August, or reports. What I suggest is if we could consider the reports under each of the three headings and vote whether to approve the reports under a heading before moving on to the next set, if that's okay. So the first heading is the payment schedules, and we have the, quickly summarise these, the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund payment schedules for mid-August and mid-September, Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Guildhall payment schedules for mid-August, end of August and mid-September, and the Museum and Archives payment schedules for mid-August, end of August and mid-September. And it's attachments 2A to 2C that fall under this heading. Does anybody have any comments they'd like to raise?
Those acceptance of those.
Anybody like to second if there's no comments? Thank you, and vote, please. Right, the second heading is the cash book and bank reconciliations as of 31st of July, the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund and the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Guildhall and Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Museum. That's attachments 2D to 2G that fall under this heading, with 2D relating to the cash book and 2E to 2G to the bank reconciliations. Again, any comments from you?
1450 miscellaneous £12,000. What is that?
Are you talking about cash books?
This is 2D,
Oh, two.
the cash book financial statement. Number 1450 miscellaneous £12,000.
So is
That's the budget figure, so, yeah, I need to clarify that with the RFO.
I'm just wondering, does that refer to the role?
It could be, that's what I was saying, but I don't want to listen.
No, don't.
So I'll, yeah, I think it is to do with the RFO.
That's a very good guess. That's an excellent guess.
Yeah, that
Okay, so there's a comment there and we feed that back. Okay, so happy to propose those.
I'm happy. I'll second.
And votes, all in favour. So the third heading is the Quilter Cheviot reports for July and August, and attachment to H falls under this heading. I just wanted to say that we have arranged an online pre-meeting with Quilter Cheviot, once I can find my notes, which is
The 23rd, isn't it?
yes, Monday the 23rd of September, 6 p.m. And there we will have the opportunity to discuss, amongst other things, the level of risk, which Quilter Cheviot are showing as medium, so we can get an explanation of what that actually means, and an explanation regarding the responsibility investment policy that they've applied to the fund. Again, our understanding of that will be hopefully better informed following that meeting. So firstly, on just that broad point, are there any points, Councillor Anderson?
Yes, unfortunately I will miss this online meeting with the Juliet, but I have sent a comment to members of this committee, yes, not to all council, was it to all council, I can't. And I think the data that we have here, again, I mean, the income return is 0.1%. Between the 28th of June and the 31st of July. And I think there's another month as well, which is similarly very low. And really it is very surprising. I mean, it's not just comparing with the data that is also here below that, private data, the benchmark data that you give to us. And I know that it is possible to get not much more, but well, 10 times what we're getting here. And I find that surprising.
Very valid comments, which I think we've repeated a number of times, haven't we? And hopefully we can at least get a better explanation, I hope. Councillor Myers.
Yeah, so at the very top, the performance says capital return June 24 to July 24 minus 0.1%, but for the year to July 24, 10.3%.
Yeah.
Does that mean capital return? Does that mean the increase in capital?
Yeah,
It's growing by 10%. Exactly. Which is good, isn't it?
yes, it is.
That
Very
is
good. It is
Yes, but
exceptionally
it could be, I think that was a particularly good year for the stock market.
The fund is over 2 million, and it was 1.7, wasn't it?
It was. was. Yeah, it's gone down to one, correct.
So my suggestion with whoever is attending, and thank you for your comments, Councillor Anderson, so I've read through them, in sync with what you're saying, but I think anybody who's going to actually attend the meeting, if they've got capacity to do some homework, because I think Councillor Barnes, you're touching on some of the points, that it would be really good to have some data building around that rather than just making the general comments about it doesn't look good enough. It would be helpful. So,
yeah, I was saying the same. I believe another issue that Councillor Anderson raised was the fines selling shares.
Well, that might be the explanation.
So that might be the explanation
Yes.
that because of the actual fees, their fees have skewed the actual return on capital. So, and we need, that is a very good question, we need to pose that.
Yes, because my return that I get, said, is net of fees.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, is there an industry standard, an industry level in terms of the amount of activity you would expect on funds? So, that's the sort of thing that if anybody has capacity to look into.
Yeah, we need to question as to that. I think in relation to that question, I think that would be relative also to the risk factor.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I'm not saying I'm an expert on this, but so for instance, if you're on a low risk factor, they might put your money into things like Shell Oil, which we all know has a very good return for a very low risk factor. But whereas if you're on perhaps a medium to high risk factor, it might be a case that when the stock looks to be dropping, at an exceedingly fast rate, to achieve it, have to suddenly sell before it drops below a certain level, which is what I have been told is the case. And we need to find that out.
I'm going to comment on that. I should do say in my note this committee that, as I understand it, because I have talked with RFO about this, this portfolio, the Talbot Round portfolio, is managed at medium high risk, and my portfolio is managed at a medium low risk. So you would expect this portfolio, the Talbot Round portfolio, actually to be doing better. And also, my portfolio is almost entirely on ethical investments, which are known to be less productive in terms of income than the kinds of things that the Talbot Fund is investing in. So it's all a part of.
Any more observations on?
I think, so the fees, nearly 3,000, is that the same every month, or is it based on a percentage of income?
I think that's a question you can pose.
Yeah, 30,000 a year, which to me doesn't seem excessive. But on the ethical thing, I think again that's something we could discuss with them.
Yeah,
I know we've got fossil fuel, we've got the agio, which is a big thing, alcohol. We want to be investing in alcohol, etc.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be nice to invest in things that will help with climate change and so on.
Okay, so
So I propose that this is taken forward to that meeting. That all councillors, not just the ones on this committee, submit any further questions, and that those that are able to do any benchmarking with their existing portfolios or other ones, other known ones, please do so and come back to us on that.
Could I also just remind everyone that the Talbot Fund is not just this portfolio, it's the assets.
it is very true.
So we need to take a kind of holistic view of all of that and have a proper asset management strategy.
I suppose that's a very good point, Councillor Miles, in the sense that with the property manager on board, what they will be doing for us as a group of people, and for full members of the trustees opening our eyes to the consequences of managing those assets for the future. Yes. Okay, so could we vote on accepting this?
That's what I proposed.
Yeah, should we have a second, Councillor Wiles? Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next item, this was covered under the previous meetings, is agenda item 6, the unexpected large income receipts and potential efficiencies. I wasn't expecting us needing to go through this, you've already noted that.
Yeah, it's tonight, thank you.
Okay, happy to move on.
Proposed noting it.
I'll second it. We then have budget setting draft pro forma report, which I think is slightly different, not significantly. So maybe Town Clerk could just quickly refer to it.
Yes, of course. Yes, so thank you, Chair. It's not really different in respects of the process we want to follow. The only thing is, obviously, we've got Tollbridge Fund with a project request form for the pro forma. And again, it's split down into if there's a committee that want this, any existing budget that's effective, new budget to be created if that's the proposal, when the project's likely to start and how long that project's likely to last. And then it's just broken down into the items of expenditure with a description, estimated cost. And it does only have to be estimated. I think you don't have to cover. If there are any other grant funding opportunities or outside funding, and the amount that you're requesting, and then any notes that you want to add as well. And for the RFOs, just to give a brief example here, there's equipment, consumables, staff time, hire, outside contractors.
So the only thing I would carry forward in Town Clerk with the other meeting was the inclusion
Yes.
of Council Benton's suggestion. Yeah. So the intention is to take this forward to the full meeting of the trustee.
Yeah.
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 Is somebody happy to propose that?
Yeah.
Second, Councillor Benton, happy to approve. Thank you very much. Okay, agenda item 8, the STBF grants process review. So at the last meeting of this committee, we reviewed and commented on 3 draft documents and support applications for STBF grants, with the intention of adopting these for 25-26, subject to approval by the trustee of the Tollbridge Fund. Documents were an updated criteria, an updated application form for grants, and an updated process considering grant applications. The first 2 had a number of suggested amendments, which have been reflected in the documents and available for this meeting. The process was supported at the last meeting without any comments being made, so I don't propose that we look at that. But maybe Councillor Wiles could take us through the 2 documents that have got some amendments in there and open it up to members to allow them to say what's been done, addresses their concerns, and anything new that might need to be added.
So, yeah, I went through the minutes from the last meeting and I've taken all the comments that were agreed and hopefully amended these documents. So the grant application form has been amended with, for example, the maximum number of words in certain boxes, and then the draft criteria has also been amended in accordance with the minutes. So have I missed anything?
No.
That's all you're about to say.
But Councillor Anderson.
Yes, it's actually in the minutes that I pointed out that when it comes to relevant legislation, that I know that the Disability Discrimination Act 1995 has been completely superseded by the Equality Act 2010. And there may be other legislation in that list.
Yeah.
And I don't, that it has, that are no longer, pieces of legislation which are no longer relevant because they've been replaced or repealed. And we really do need to be, if we're going to ask our applicants for a professional presentation, we need to be absolutely on top of what is relevant now.
I didn't feel qualified to amend that.
Can I suggest that that's a very good point, Councillor Anderson. And can I suggest that we pay quite a large fee to an organisation called Kent Association of Local Councils, and we do have a consultancy basis with them. So could I suggest that the town clerk perhaps gets them on board to help with this, and possibly reviews all of those acts, and they are, because they are the legal local government authority, they would know whether those acts have been sorted, and they do have access to legal advisors.
Yes.
So I'm just putting that forward as a shortcut for the town clerk.
I also think there's somewhere else in the form which actually mentions the Disability Discrimination Act 1995, and that needs to be changed.
So could I ask the town clerk, are you happy to accept that?
Yes.
And does that,
It won't be done for the meeting on Monday, that's all. So
yes,
what I could
that's
do
my next
is,
question.
I can highlight that section and
Yes.
ask members to take the.
Approve it
Yes,
subject to.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
councillor.
found a second place where it's mentioned under Sandwich Coalition Fund checklist, information required with grant applications. Again, I think it's the 5th box or the 6th box down, confirmation that statutory obligations under the Disability Discrimination Act have been considered. Well, it's,
Yeah, thank you for that consideration. Councillor Payne.
I seem to recall that Councillor Green and I suggested at the last meeting that there should be a section on evaluation. And I think just scrolling through, I didn't spot that.
Yes, so there was a form shared at the last meeting, and we didn't have, there were no comments on that form, so I haven't brought that to the meeting today. But there certainly is an evaluation form as well.
So that'll be included in the set of notes to the full meeting.
Is this only for group? I mean, what if there's an individual that would do something for charity, similar to what Gans has done with the paying on a telephone box? When we have had something in the box by the post office on the left, haven't we? You know, there might be something, community meeting, like painting the seats up or something, or restaining the seats along the wall. So it'd be an individual doing it, they might want money, or I don't know if it's available for that, they would just fix shit, I don't know. But there might be an individual come that wants money for a specific project.
So I think
Benefit to the
you
community.
did make this point last time, and if I remember rightly, Councillor Miles might have answered it. So if you want to remind us of the answer.
I think it says will generally not be for individuals, so it gives an opt-out clause.
Yes.
In exceptional circumstances, it could be an individual.
Yeah, it's on a benefit.
It would be at our discretion.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, fine.
So is anybody happy to propose the?
Yep, I'm very happy to process with the amendments. I think it should go forward with a caveat to say that all the laws, relevant laws, will be updated through consultation with CALC, so that can be done. But this shouldn't stop us from voting on and agreeing this amended form.
Anybody happy to second that? Councillor Miles? Sorry, I didn't see you. Approve? Yep. Good, thank you very much. Just before we get to the final item, I just want to refer to the action log because this meeting picked up a few of the actions that are outstanding. So we had 2, 4, 5 open actions, of which 3 are now for closure. They relate to the process for grants that we've just discussed. It leaves 2 outstanding actions. One was that Councillor Green was going to do similar to what he did for the Finance General Purpose Committee, just to table each of the terms of reference activity, so we can follow that up. It's not critical in this meeting. And the second one, the town clerk is going to discuss with the RFO, how it might be possible to incorporate the museum budget in the more in-depth analysis and review of budgets. And whilst it was to report back to this meeting, I think clashes of leave, etc., impacted that, so we'll just defer that to October, if that's okay. Okay. Next meeting, Wednesday the 16th of October, 2024, again following the GP committee meeting. If people are happy for us to close, we will close. Done.
8:35.
It's all that time.
Done. Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Friends of the school.
Yeah, 26, 30.
I read it.
In the lounge.